So now you have to just be inspired.
But Adele, last night you told that story about Baba saying that about Arnavaz and Nariman, but what did Baba say about Havovi and Hoshang?
Yeah. Oh.
The runner-ups.
Yeah, it's you can start with that.
Think of it before now. Very good.
Until now, both Hoshang and I were given orders from 62 or 63 onwards. I have my dates, written down, to write him a family letter. And I picked up, not a family letter, a health bulletin, but it would be in the form of a letter. So first both of us had to write him every 15 days. Then later on, I'll tell you all about that at the Sahabas. Then later on it became both of us once a month. And before he dropped his body in 67, he said, now alternately you write. 1 month you write, 1 month Hoshang had to write. So I used to write in the diary. My turn to write to Baba, Hoshang's turn. So the last I wrote in January, I don't know what I wrote, but anyway, each letter was very lovingly replied. And so before coming here, I thought, why not? My daughter had kept those very safely, all the letters, so many. Each one was very lovingly replied. And I kept all of them. And in one of them, he writes, I brought those along with me, but I don't have them on me now, in which he writes, you're my soldiers in my love. That's what he called us. So it was nice. I'll read those to you. And when we have an informal thing, I could bring those along. And of course, he took us very, very close and was always very concerned about us and our children's health. And I think he was keeping everything. The health was just, fronted. Actually, was keeping tabs on our lives and steering us through. I always feel that was a special grace. And he's given us some very beautiful moments.
Sorry, I want to know when you knew Baba, how old were you and when you come to Tanzania?
Yeah, I was 17 when I knew Baba, but I think I was
How
20.
you knew Baba?
Through the family, through being married into the Dadachanji family or being engaged into the family. But I started my life for 7 years as a disbeliever of Meher Baba. Sorry to say, I wasted some precious years. Maybe I didn't waste them after all. He was doing some spade work inside. And I started loving him in 1960, just prior to my daughter being born. I feel that she was our Baba connection. She was born in 61 May. And after that, we started loving Baba in 60. I mean, Hoshang, of course, never opened his mouth to let me know exactly. I thought I was keeping such a tight hold on him and not allowing him to love Baba. But secretly probably loved Baba, and he didn't ever talk about it. And I thought, well, let him not get away from Zoroaster, or keep an eye on him. But Baba was keeping an eye on him. But I started loving him in 60 May, just a year before she was born. And any amount of convincing, goodness. Baba used to say that about my sister-in-law. Franny and Havovi didn't love me. Now they love me a lot. He went like this. He went like this. I always say it's right from the horse's mouth. So he took me so completely that nowadays I'm accused of talking too much about Baba. I just can't stop. Even in a group that doesn't love Baba, my voices go back to saying Baba said this, and and everybody, maybe they feel it's imposing. I don't care. I feel that I'm giving them something special by talking about Baba. So now I even.
What year were you married?
We got married in 57 January. And the silver jubilee thing, which Hoshang will kill me if I ask anyone to see it again, but that one you can see at your leisure or can tape it. It's got some beautiful pictures of, you've seen it, Manush, Mera and Mani singing, and that was at the, Lynn was there.
I was there.
You were there too?
We didn't see last night the album picture. We're just going to have now
The picture.
You give it
The one with money and
You know what happened? That album I took out to show their family, and it's not with me, but I'll bring it to the Sahabas anytime.
Oh, you mean Money's picture?
I mean, it's with me, but I didn't carry it my purse today.
from Money.
It's yeah.
Yes, but some of the people here aren't aware that as late as June 7th, Havovi was with Mani So for those of you who didn't hear that, you might want to tell them
Right, you want
a little bit more about the meeting with Mommy at that date.
Yeah. Actually, the second last time we saw her at Mehrabad Hill, Smera's Day, 20th May. She came, the cow was brought right up to the Samadhi, and she was escorted into the tomb. No singing that day, just going into Baba's Samadhi and then into near Mehra's shrine. It was very, very quick job. She couldn't stay too long, but she was always loving and giving as usual. And, you know, and she was so special, you know. She knew we were coming away here. And she said, Bobby, have you helped put the garland, you know, in spite of her indifferent health? And I said, yes, Mani. And she met everybody. I mean, like, not the way she normally would, because she couldn't stand the strain. But she made it, you know. And after that, on 7th June, we went to say goodbye to Arnavaz, and Arnavaz had told us over the phone that you won't be able to see Mani, she is not at all well, and you can't go near Baba's side. I said, fine, that's all right with us, we just say goodbye to you and go. And then she said, all right, you can go to Baba's room. So we were trying to go quietly, but she said, no, Mani's going to meet you. And so we went into Baba's room. She was on the phone to some people in Pune, her family in Pune. And the conversation was pretty long. We were going to Amrit, and I really felt that we shouldn't disturb her. So again I told Arnavaz, please Arnavaz, just give her love to her, let her be. She said, no, wait, meet her and go. The Gave told her, don't come out, Mani, they'll come to your room. So we went to Mehra Mani's room. She was on her bed. She got up, she hugged us, and it's not very modest of me to say, but like she was, you know how the Mandis always, they are worthy of praise, of course, like Baba. And here they always give us so much, and they're always full of compliments. She said, well, Havovi, you're the best thing Baba is sending to the West. The best gift Baba is sending to the West. I said, no, Mani, you're wrong. You are the best gift. This is the best gift I'm receiving before going to the West. You know, your hug and kiss. And I said, but Mani, I'm not going to come and meet you like this when I come back. I want you to come in the front, and we will meet there, and you'll greet us as always. And I said, come on, and she gave me a 5 like this. And again, a hug and a kiss. I kissed her hands, and then later on we learned that she was again in hospital. Actually, she was supposed to go the very day for
same
day for an X-ray scan for a scan. But there were no lights in Mehrabad.
There was a power failure.
Power failure, even at Mehrabad and Mehrabad. So it didn't come through. But after that, all this development took place.
And that letter that we have here, most of you heard that letter, but if you didn't get that letter, just ask me and I'll give you a copy of it.
I have copies.
It's a letter descriptive letter from Dr. Gautam.
I thought I was escaping from India, and I think I brought the heat to you.
Brought the heat.
The first day we arrived was very pleasant.
Havovi, did you ever sing those beautiful songs, you know, the songs from those love songs to Baba?
Yeah, we want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I sung just a very simple hymn to Baba. In '63, Meher Baba visited, gave us a house visit at a place called Jamnagar House. Before that, we always stayed at a hotel 2 blocks away from Guruprasad called Mobo's. But
It's still there.
It's still there, Mobo's Hotel. It's an office sort of thing now. For a while it was used as a Rajneesh residence as well. Now it's an office, income tax or some office. I'm not sure. And Mehra, Mani, and all of them had come to that hotel for a high tea with us. But Baba came with the men Mandli, at Jamnagar House, which is at a very nice locality.
Maharaja of Jamnagar's bungalow.
Yeah, Maharaja of Jamnagar's bungalow,
Yeah,
which,
staying there.
you know, Maharani of Baroda had arranged for the whole Dadachanji family to get that on hire for the 3 months and stay there. And so in '63 he came and he said, either you to tell him a joke or sing a song. I don't even remember what Hoshang did because he's petrified of singing solos. Like his I've read your notes. You've read read my notes. Anyway, I sung Holy, Holy, Holy. It's a Christian hymn for Baba, and it was very appropriate, and so I sang that for him. And of course Francis says, "What are you, a Parsi girl, singing a Christian hymn?" So well, we always sing hymns at school, and so that was it. But surprisingly, I mean, I'd forgotten about this, but in the Silver Jubilee movie, the last song I sang for Mera is "I Only Have Eyes for You," a song which I often do at the Samadhi. And you know who plays for me? Sherla and Jerry Edwards. Jerry. So for morning, he comes for morning aarti and he goes, "Havovi." He does that, and I nod, and then he would play and I would sing. So we were all sitting around Mera. That was must have been somewhere in February, March, the time we were there in '89. And somebody said, Mera talks and she gets tired, so people want to sing. And somebody said, Havovi can sing. So Mera said, "Yes, I know." So I said, Mera looked at me, so I said, "Should I sing?" She said, "Yes." And he was there luckily. And you always sing better to accompaniment. And he sang that song. Now when I saw the Silver Jubilee movie, I see that that's a very song I sung sitting next to her. I Only Have Eyes for You. So I mean, I felt, that's a very beautiful movie. So I've sung for Baba and for Mera. For Mera, when she went to Baba. We were the Veera auntie, one aunt, Sarosha's aunt, Veera engineer. The Joy Mahal people, Zareen, Zareen Wazirda, a lot of you know Zareen's mum. We drove down from Bombay in a car. We were the first to arrive. She and her granddaughter and Hoshang and I. And we went into the Manli hall. It was about 2 in the morning, around 2 in the morning, around 2 in the morning, I think. And of course we went, and Mera was really looking like a young girl, about 35, and like a Persian princess, Her she used to wear those skirts. They were tied at the, something like this. They were tied at the ankles, and pretty little rose buds were put, little pretty ones, very, very pretty, almost like tea roses on her feet. It was so dainty and pretty, and she looked so lovely. And of course, Mani was consoling us, like she hugged me, she gave me coffee, and then she said Mera's favorite song, one of her favorites was "Cling to Me Only with Thine Eyes," which I hadn't done since school, which I wasn't sure of, but she said, "Can you sing that, Havovi?" And I said, "I'll try." And then Heather was there, so I sat next to Mani and we sang that song for her. So that was actually the very last song that she lay in stage.
Is that right?
Cling to Me and
what other songs did they sing when she?
There?
Yeah, at that time.
I mean, I remember that song very vividly because I was asked to sing
Did
it.
she ask for some songs herself? Not before she died? Did she ever say that?
It was Mani who asked.
Mani asked me because that was her favorite. So Heather and I together sung that song for her.
Which is her favorite? Drink to Me Only?
But yeah, that was her favorite, I was told.
That was.
That's what Mani told me, and she made me sing.
Beautiful. Of course, the first song she sang to Baba was Swanee.
Swanee, yeah.
Are you going to sing that for us too? Is the house?
Frankly, I know a hell of a lot of songs, but that one song. Who sang that? You'll see it on the tape. I'll pass it on to Mani. Mani sings that in the tape.
So did Hoshang tell a joke when
When she was singing.
Did you tell Baba a joke when
I just never got the joke. I think I've read your notes but forgotten.
I told Baba, any jokes?
Yeah, you were.
No, her father used to tell jokes to Baba.
My father used to tell.
Yeah, Muhammad Chil.
Muhammad Chil. He used to tell stories about Muhammad Chil. My father had a special name. Yesterday we were talking about whose father, Fred's father.
Yes, Fred's father.
Now Baba always takes your family in. When he takes you in, he accepts your family. Like my parents, they were very orthodox Zoroastrians. But they used to come to Mobo's and Guruprasad days and stay. And Daddy would be Daddy was a very busy man. My daddy was an insurance agent. He really gave us the best by way of education and everything. He was a very great person in that sense. He worked really hard for a living. So the only time he'd read this small storybook called of Mamad Chel, who was a tantric magician, but also a saint of sorts. He could do all sorts of things like, to stop a train and he'd take a watch from, the Englishmen. In those days, the English people traveled, and he was just a Muslim saint. And he'd take the watch and break it before them and then get it together again. All these tantric. So Baba said it's all tantric. And then because he started telling Baba all these Mamad Chel stories, Baba had a special name given to Daddy, called him Mamad Chel. And every now and then in the telegrams and in the letters he'd write, and Baba remembered his Mamad Chel and sends him special love. So he really took my family, my mother, my father, and so where were we? Why did we start Mamad Chel?
Because he used to tell Baba jokes.
Yeah. So he's not jokes.
He used to tell
and
jokes.
My daddy was so frank and honest, and Baba had a good laugh on that. Baba said Savak Shah, his name was Savak Shah, like Savak Kotwal, same name, Savak Shah. I thought you were going back to Bombay. How come you're here this weekend, or how? So Daddy would be frank enough not to tell Baba I'm staying on because I want to be near you. Of course he wanted that, but he'd say, but what to do, Baba? The Chinaman hasn't kept my... Pune was famous for the Chinaman. They made lovely shoes, leather shoes. The daddy had ordered a pair and they never got ready. They got a chance to give me. He said, what can I do, Baba? The Chinaman hasn't... He promised to give me my shoes. He hasn't kept them ready. So Baba would laugh, chuckle and put the Chinaman inside. But that way he got a chance. And even, when my daddy went, Nariman and Arnavaz were in Ahmednagar, they were at Merisat, and they sent a very beautiful telegram here. And Nariman told me, he wrote in the letter, he says, very few people have a nickname from Baba, and your daddy was one of the fortunate ones to have a nickname like that.
What was his nickname for you?
Baba, no nickname for me.
Hoshang?
Hoshang. Any letter, any correspondence with Hoshang, Rayomer. Hoshang and Rayomer, that's what it was.
Oh. Does that mean something?
Hoshang and Havovi, abbreviation, Hoshang.
Save money in telegram.
Even in the letters, it's Hoshang and Rayomer, just coined together like that.
Ryan is his son.
Rayoman.
So Rayomer.
Oh, that's
Rayomer, like that. Mer
Rayomer,
and like that.
Who asked Hoshang to tell the story? Did Jeff or?
Yeah, Jeff did.
Or what?
Yeah, one of the
Then you have
jokes.
to have the story.
See, we will be married for 40 years in 1997. It will be 40 years, but we have lived always to agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree. We're in agreement on that point.
In the kitchen, I had just overheard a conversation just now. Havovi was having with some lady. I don't know who she was. That's why Baba and the avatars come to India.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
Margaret.
on this point again, she thinks that India is a land of spirituality, and that's why the avatars come there from Rama, Krishna, and Baba came. So I said, all BS.
That's an Indian expression.
It's not that. In fact, it's such a rotten country. Avatar has to come there and save the country.
I agree with this. I know you have a very beautiful country here, and it's so very beautiful, and we see the contrast. It's very, and I bet you get a culture shock when you come to India because such a contrast.
Depends what part of India, which part.
Yes, but the avatar chooses to come there, and you choose to come there to be with him. So.
Actually, the worst culture shock is usually when we come back.
In fact, the avatar doesn't come here because they don't need him.
I don't agree on that point of at all.
So, Havovi, why do you think Baba came to India?
India.
Just like I told the American consulate guy, because he loves us. He loves all of us, but why did he come to the States? Because he loves you. I mean, that's his wish and will. Like he says, make my will your wish. So that's his will that he comes, and we are blessed to be there. We are blessed to be invited by you, wonderful people here. And
Well,
Baba
you know,
for giving us an opportunity to come again.
Bob has told in many ways why India is so good to him.
Would you? I'd love to hear.
Oh, wait. I remember very much how Baba said, first of all, it was the beginning of all mankind. All the races of mankind originated in India. And so it's the sort of pivot point. I mean, there's a lot of humor that's been connected with the man in Calcutta saying he lived on the Om Point or something. But Baba did say India was actually
The seat of spirituality.
the beginning of the Om Point. Was where humanity was first developed, as it is the races of mankind. Also, Baba said he would never allow India to be destroyed. At the time when China was invading,
Yeah, I was about to tell that,
to
yes.
prevent India,
You see, there was a gathering,
India.
I think it was East-West gathering, 1962
Oh, yeah.
or so, and China had invaded India. And we had one Baba lover who was in the Air Force, Indian Air Force, Wing Commander Sakhre Manor Sapre. A great Baba lover, husband and wife, both died.
Remember that? Yes, I remember him because he.
So he was, although he was in the Air Force, he was attached to the Ministry of Defense. And during this invasion, Baba made a statement, made an announcement in Guruprasad that because the avatar has taken birth in this country, Chinese will return back to the country. They will not invade India. So this fellow, in his over enthusiasm, he made the announcement in the defense the Chinese will retreat now. So,
Is he still alive?
No,
both of them died.
died. Lovely couple. He used to fly, because he was at the
He
Air Force.
was in the Air Force
Fly over
base.
Mehrabad.
He would fly over Mehrabad,
Quite
Mehrabad,
over Mehrabad.
wave off.
I've never seen a couple at all, Baba Mohan, that says they were both. And I remember Mohan was Bob, she told you.
And I
Very
died of
sweet.
cancer.
Yeah, very nice.
Hoshang, can you tell a story about taking Baba to a cricket match?
See, wherever Baba used to visit Bombay, I was in college that time. And actually, you see, sometimes Baba had some purpose. He would, to make mass contacts, he would go to some theatre, go there for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and would just walk out. He had some purpose, and he explained that it is through this mass medium that he can make contact with the people, and he had some more spiritual work to carry out. So in Bombay, we had a big stadium, like your football stadium, Brabant Stadium, and there was a test match going on. So we were sitting in one stand, and I knew that Baba was to come there. Nariman and others had purchased the tickets also. And Baba incognito, he came, sat down there, and watched the match for about half an hour or so. And I was looking out where he's sitting, so through my binoculars, I saw that Baba was there and the Mandi was surrounding him. Then after 1 or 2 overs, what we call in cricket, you are pitching, I tried to have a look again, and Baba had disappeared, and Mandi had also gone away. So it was a very short, brief period that he came and just went away.
I tell him that the North Stand is a very
The
common
North Stand,
stand.
the North Stand is a very
Fully
common
packed.
stand, fully jam-packed, nearly 50,000
where
people are there.
not the exclusive
So-
stand. It's a regular
But
stand.
he had his own purpose.
Did you ever play any games or sports with him?
With Baba?
Yes, I've read about Baba being there for seven tiles
During
games.
the, we had some group gatherings from Gujarat, from Maharashtra, and we were asked to stay at Mehrabad. Tents were pitched up where there is a savage kitchen now, and we were staying there. And Baba, where Muhammad is staying now, that hall, new hall, what you call. Baba was sitting in that chair, and then suddenly he would throw the ball fast like this, and then he'll look at you and throw the ball like this. And if you drop the catch, he said, see, you failed. Couldn't catch it.
It's the same with sweets.
Sweet also.
With grapes, they don't.
Both hands like that. Throw the-
And he even watched your cricket match once. When you
Yeah,
were
one day
playing.
we were playing at Pasig Gymkhana near Marine Drive. Pauline Brigger was also there. You know Pauline Brigger?
Very much.
So Baba came and sat in the car, and you could see his legs dangling outside. The car was parked like this, and the match was going on here. And he watched for about half an hour or so. Went away.
Did you ever stop, or did it ever just cause you to just stop and sort of wonder, thinking about Baba, here's this physical form before you, God? Because at least for myself, who never met him in the physical form, it's still abstracted, right? It's still a concept, and it's through photos. But to actually have someone such as yourself, right before you, and to make that sort of that correlation and say this is the center of the universe. Did you ever have those moments where it was? For me, the concept
This
is
is the
overwhelming.
God-man.
For me, the concept is just overwhelming, let alone the physicality of it.
I'll tell you, I was just telling Manosh one story on the way. In Muhammad's time, he had his own mandli also, very close. This is what we heard the story in Mandli Hall, because over the years, for past 27 years, I've been going there and sitting there regularly. So I've heard this story that during Muhammad's advent, there were close disciples. Ali was his right-hand man. He was his son-in-law also.
Ali K. Arani.
No, he said
Muhammad Ali.
Prophet.
So in this advent, Baba said that I am the avatar of the age. But at a later stage, somewhere in 1954, he declared himself as the avatar of the age. But in those days, they were called Paigambars or the messenger of God. They never called themselves the avatar, except the Hindus.
Yes.
Accepted it.
Sadhguru.
Sadhguru or the. So Muhammad would tell his disciples, see, I had a vision, I had a dream, I had a talk with angel, I had a talk with Gabriel. So one day, Ali got excited. Because Rasulullah, what is this? Every time you tell us you had a talk with God, you had a talk with angels, tell us how does it look? So he says, to see me is to see God. That means now indirect hint he gave that I am God in human form.
That's in the Quran? Is that in the Quran?
It is in Hadith actually. These are the words of Muhammad. So that book is known as Hadith.
Tradition.
It's just Jesus said the same thing.
My father and I.
Jesus said to see me is to see.
But it's like moving with the times. Today we readily accept the concept of avatar. The infinite gets bound and comes in its finite form. But in those days, people would not accept.
So, I
No,
guess what
would not
Richard,
accept, they would have been killed immediately.
so what I guess Richard's asking is, when you saw Baba, did you think, oh my gosh, there's God in human form, or oh, well, there's Baba. He's like a member of the family.
You're asking me or her?
Both of you.
Say, when first I met Baba when I was only 12 years old only. So the concept was not there whether he's God or somebody. We accepted him as a highly good person, spiritual person like that. The word avatar was never heard of in those days. At the most, Sadhguru or Srimad Baba. But my first vivid impression is that radiance was there, that glow was there, that divinity was there. And there was one pointed attention of everybody on him only. The focus was there on him only. It was not hypnotism or anything, it was magnetism. You are drawn towards him as if you were a magnet.
What about you, Havovi?
I have to hang my head in shame to say that I started as a disbeliever.
Right.
In the sense that, my mind was such a closed book that I didn't want to accept. So it wasn't anything spectacular for me. I should have known the love there. Probably inside of me I did. But I met him rather at Ashiana when I was introduced as Hoshang's fiancé. Nariman said, this is Hoshang's fiancé, Havovi. This was in 54. 53 Renge, so 54. And he took me in. I could see this person is giving so much love. And he said, this and that, and like this. I was saying, oh, but I don't think you're one bit this, I started out with thinking of him as not being God or anything for that matter. I went with a very, very closed mind. And so I'm sorry that I missed out on the moments when I should have. But then later on, he really made me catch up, gave me a lot, like he gave with both hands. In my dream, Baba was sitting there and he's two big basketfuls of sweets. And I was in the front row and Baba's gone like this and given like this, which is really done in my life, Later on, when everything sped up and there's so many few years. But anyway, when he did this, and I was cheeky enough to say, but I don't think you're one bit this. I still remember that time. He did that to me. He just me and but I said, I don't think you're, And I never saw that. She said, I knew you'd be his, in his good time. And I don't know if I missed out on the 7 years because I went to the 54 darshan, and every time there was anything going or happening about Baba, I'd be there. But not with a view on being with him, but making sure that Hoshang wouldn't fall for Baba.
Havovi, who brought you there to meet? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But your relatives were
There's a lot of voodoo stuff. Now when I sing, you do something to me, voodoo, you do so well. I'm frightened of that voodoo. Now I love voodoo.
So the wedding, did Baba send to the wedding itself? Did Baba make himself known to you? Did he send something?
He sent us a telegram. A telegram was sent for our wedding.
And he sent a representative?
Nobody came. No, Aloba came for the children. Harikaka might have come. In those days we didn't never get tabs because I was just 20 when I married, but I wasn't interested if anybody came or not. But I know I'm glad I didn't tear off the telegram that did come. Bless Baba's blessings are with you. But it was for the Manli, it's signed Manli. So maybe Erach and all of them sent it because Nariman and Arnavaz must have told them there's a wedding there and all that. But
so how did you try to keep him away from Baba?
To go to every function and make sure that he wouldn't fall for Baba.
Oh, I see. So you had to go along and monitor him.
So I'm glad I did. In fact, till Mera was there, she'd always say, you didn't love Baba, but you came just to please Hoshang the way Sarosha's Vilu did. But that wasn't the fact. But in fact, my first contact was Mera. Mera was the one I was attracted to, I'll tell you all about it at the Sahabas.
Yesterday, Havovi told us some lovely stories about Mera. They haven't heard. Maybe you can think of something else and some of your experiences with her or Hoshang. He told when he first saw me. When he was permitted to, she was kept, of course, from men's eyes for a long, long time. But
did Mara come visit your home in Bombay?
She never came to Bombay. She came to Arnavaz's, but never to any of our Bombay. But I believe she's been to Rhoda Mystery's home. And maybe Arnavaz's, that's, where Mera Buck's Fredi stays. Probably she visited there, but not our home. A lot of the Manli has, but not her. So take pictures periodically and show her and all that. ask about our home and all that. No.
Havovi, what time do you believe Baba is God?
From 1960 onwards, 7 years later.
7 years. What time? What time
What was the experience?
your experience? Yes.
Yeah. Shall I hold it? Otherwise, you'll send me packing if I tell you.
no,
That's true. You have the full liberty of not giving it if you plan.
it's
We call it a dress rehearsal.
things like this we don't get tired of. Believe me.
You can just abbreviate it if you want, and then elaborate at the sahabas.
Yeah.
Richard,
Richard, he wants to answer your question. Sandeep got an answer to your question about how you...
No answer. What was the question?
The question was about being in Baba's physical presence and having a realization of this physical body as being the center of the universe, the avatar, God in human form.
It's just her heart told her. Doesn't really think of it.
But even I think now it's more profound. I think this feeling that you're talking about. Nothing happened then, but now today, even you think of Baba, you get that same feeling.
But I think it makes sense. It's almost a sense of, say, a legend. The way someone you spend time with who's very good at doing something. Those who are closest to that person have to work and interact with that person, and it makes the interaction difficult if you deal with them in other than a natural manner. But the more distance you come from that person, and the more you see their work in light of other things, and suddenly it gains this legendary type of aura.
In the Guruprasad days, we used to sit with Baba, we were close about 10-15 people at the most, and regularly and consistently he was very formal in his attitude, absolutely human, informal and very human. He would talk, he would ask for some jokes, he would ask to read bogus news, what he called newspaper, and everything. And suddenly he would say, "Don't forget, I am God in human form. Remember this, hold on to my Dhamma." And that was a constant reminder to those who were always present. It was a regular feature. So he went on reminding, don't lose your grip. Hold on to my Dhamma. And he used to say also that I am giving you this opportunity. Be with me. One day time will come when we will be pushed out. And that was a sign from people from all over the world. The Westerners will come and you will have no scope. So today when I see, every time when we go to Nagar, we see new faces coming to Baba. The old ones come regularly, but every now and then new faces are coming. There is an influx of newcomers also. So, why do you come? You have never heard of him in your younger days, you have never seen him, and yet today you are being drawn towards Baba. It is because of his grace. It is not we who are going to him. It is his grace that is drawing us towards him, actually speaking. So, today, if so many youngsters, so many old-timers, everybody is coming there, that means it is his grace on humanity that is attracting people there. And why even after many years also, Baba said that you may leave me, but I am not going to loosen my grip over you. He used to say that also.
Yeah.
So the best thing is that when we go to Mehrabad or Mehrazad, if you get the opportunity, we must make the best use of it. No tomfoolery. Really, what is the purpose of going there? It is the epicenter. So our job is to remember him there because his presence is there. He said, no, that every 700 years or 1400 years, depending on the period, my autaric presence will be felt there for about 100 years to 150 years. If it is of 700 years or 1400 years, it will be up to 200 years also. The autaric aura is there, his presence is there, and make the best use of it.
We are incapable of loving him. It's just a reflection of the
And even
loving pours on us, we can give it in small
and even if you
measure.
can't go there, it
Reflection of
does
his
not
love.
matter. Suppose
He's with
somebody
you.
can't afford, he's with you. You have to create a small place for him in our heart.
I was very impressed with what you said yesterday, Bobby, when you had to speak to that customs person, and he stressed your religion. And you said, oh my Lord, I thought I was free of all this religion identity, and because his is the religion of love. And we don't remember that enough. Baba said, that is my religion, the religion of love.
So we have to put an R on our passport, and an R everywhere we go. They want to connect us with an R. His religion is love, so we are
The
connected.
religion of love. And that
Because
is
if I went to say that Mere Baba is sending me a ticket because he loves me, they would throw me out of the consulate and not give me a ticket.
yeah, that's the
And that doubting Thomas attitude that they have over all Indians. Third time I visited your beautiful country. I love it very much. I love visiting, and I love to go back to India because I couldn't afford to go back to India each time to be with Baba. And here I can go 7-8 times. I'm getting best of both the worlds. You know, I have so many Baba friends from here who come visit, and you know, it's really Baba's been very kind.
I think that Baba, it sort of seems natural to me that Baba should be in India, really. I mean, despite, and then with all the agreement that we probably feel with what Hoshang said, that the external, but the internal, these people are so more directly bring God into their lives. They used to. I don't know about the Western influence. It's been so strong. But they have, when I worked there, I felt the immediacy of bringing God into their lives was very impressive.
Money,
The spirit of
money,
materialism. They accept. I mean, in the West, I don't think you can accept the way the Indians with so little at hand
right.
will say, all right, God has given me this because of my karma. We accept karma. I mean, these are common people on the road. Otherwise, how can they take all the
Exactly.
uncertainties in their lives?
Brought out people asking, why are they always in such
dire
poverty?
straits?
There's such a terrible poverty, and Baba said, it will be that way because that, in any way, he wants it that way, so that he can, some aspect of it, which is one of the sides of the compassion that is elicited through that. But that's what Baba's answer was, that he wanted that way.
So there are many ways of people coming to Baba. So Mani Dadate told us a very funny story. He said, you know, one couple came here, how they came? You know how Mani talks? A bird, parrot. Mere Mama, Mere Mama, Mere Mama, Mere Mama. Couple thought, what is this Mere Mama business? So they asked their outside people, what is he talking about? Mere Mama, Mere Mama, Mere Mama. And then they came to Baba. These are the funny ways.
Hoshang, did you know Chanji well?
No, well means he used to visit my house. For
He was your uncle,
very
right?
brief visit. He would come in the evening.
Uncle, dad's
Yes,
brother.
I was my uncle, my dad's brother.
Right. Well, what sort of a man was he?
I have very brief moments with him, but I remember he was very jolly good fellow, always laughing. You know, in the Nazi time, there was one Englishman who was broadcasting from Nazi Germany, and he was known as Lord Ho-Ho.
Lord Ha, yes.
So he was like that. I still remember he was always carrying a typewriter in his hand. Come home in the evening, he had his meal and would start banging the typewriter. And in the morning, before he could get up, he had vanished. He would go away.
Passed away in 1944.
Passed away in
Hoshang would have been about 14, and they didn't come to. He was in Karachi, till 1940. You know, you were.
Yeah, I was in Karachi
So,
till 40.
maybe a brief encounter when
Very
he
brief
came
encounter. He used to
down.
come to our house because Nariman was staying there with us. But you know, Baba had visited Kashmir. So the Mandli was there, Chanji was there. He says, Baba, what a lovely place to die here. Baba, yes, you like to die here? And sure enough, he died in Kashmir. Sure, same.
Chanji.
Yeah. But that time,
Buried there.
remember this, Baba had said, pointing towards one valley, Christians think that Jesus died on the cross. Jesus is buried here, was buried here. And after many, many years, the research scholars came to the conclusion that Christ did not die on the cross, but in Kashmir.
Some scholars have reached that conclusion.
Well, there's a book called Christ Died in
Died in
Kashmir. I believe,
Kashmir,
yeah.
That this was said in 1943.
But actually, Chanji is even buried in Kashmir. Only his bistara,
Yeah,
his
his
bedding.
You know that bedding in the train they used to get for sleeping. That is buried in our lower Meraba.
This is a very funny thing that Baba teaches us to take the good with the bad. And I believe his bistara ceremony where Baba lovingly, because Baba was Chanji was very close to Baba and Baba loved him a lot. Arnavaz's wedding was taking place, and after that he had the ceremony for Chanji, I believe, where he put his bedding and lovingly, I mean, his physical form was not there, but it was placed there. Similarly, when my daughter got married, it was very funny that the wedding cake, Minu uncle, his wife, in the last few years become pretty senile. And she'd keep on muttering Krishna, something she'd keep on saying, Ram Krishna, something like that. And it was so funny that we were waiting for the cake to come because it was a lovely thing when they got married, this was on 27 December 1982. First, just they went into the tomb, bowed down to Baba, then a little civil ceremony. Vilu Auntie's compound in Ahmednagar, Vilu Irani. Well, at Adiroda, Dubai, she used to stay there at the time. So a little civil ceremony there. After that, of course, Merazad, Mera and Mani, they did. Sagan is they greeted them and gave them gifts and exchange of everything, photographs and all that. And after that, the cake cutting, and then a lovely party in the evening. So I mean, it was like in sequence. So the cake came with this Minu uncle's wife, who was half crazy. She was being brought from Pune, and the cake didn't turn up for a long time. What was happening with that beautiful 3-tiered cake? And this lady comes in, chanting this, and the cake comes in that same car with the jeep with her. It's like, see the good and the bad, like this poor lady was suffering, and the cake came with her. Similarly, Arnavaz's wedding on one side, happy occasion, and his burial. So that's how he wants us to take life also, the good with the bad.
So did he send Chanji up there to do some work when he died in Kashmir, Baba?
No, Baba was there.
Baba was together.
They were on a trip there.
When he
On a
died?
trip.
They were
But
on a trip there.
earlier Tuesday also mentioned when they used to go on Maswag, what a beautiful valley. Really, this is where you live and this is where you die, paradise on earth. So Baba, nice day he died. He really died. Like it is fulfilling the wish of Allah.